Okay, those who are just now joining, please stand by. This was originally supposed to be planned on YouTube Live, and yeah, YouTube Live is not behaving itself, and I'm trying to, there we go, trying to put myself on mute. Okay. My apologies to anybody who attempted to go onto the YouTube Live presentation. Give me a moment here. I hate being behind, and I am 15 plus minutes behind on getting this started because of YouTube. So anyway, I want to welcome everybody who's joined. I am going to take your comments and your questions. If you wish, you can also join via Zoom. My original plan was to do this on YouTube, and that did not happen. So let me try and get the Zoom information for you so that you can actually call in and talk and so forth. I'll post that here in just a moment. Here we go. Copy invitation. Zoom is easier to use. If anybody ever has used a voice or a video type chat, I do like this better. I'm sorry, I'm trying to maneuver. Fine. That must be a pain. I'm on two screens. Anyway, if you want to come live, feel free there. You can ask questions away. And I am really happy to see everybody. I did not expect anybody to actually come on. So what this is supposed to be about is my journey as basically an ask away. We are going to, I'm open to anybody asking any questions. I'm going to try and watch it for questions on Facebook. Hello, Jean. Love you and Blair. Thank you for joining. Those who don't know, Jean and her husband Blair are in charge of, and they own One More Story Games, which is a fantastic platform for writers and for those who want to play games that are story-driven. Anyway, my journey is about both as a writer, as a martial artist, and as a voice actor. And I've been posting blog entries or video log entries for last week off and on. And I kind of want to open this up for questions about what I'm doing, but of course it's prepared for anybody. Ryan, you know what Zoom is. Zoom is a video conference call system, but you're actually able to do webinars all on, and also allows you to go Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Right now, I'm not happy with YouTube, so that's why I'm here on Facebook, and I'm glad to see everybody. Let me go and pull up. I do have some talking stuff to discuss. Hey, Bill, how are you doing? Here's what's going on. Let me talk first about what Ask Away is really going to be about, and then before I've got some agenda items, but feel free to stop me and ask any questions along the way. And by the way, for those who don't know, that is Mark sitting behind me, who's actually behaving himself for once. This is being recorded at my writing and voiceover desk. Yes, ignore the mess behind me. I've got one of those minds in which, well, things look messy, I know where everything's at, though other people are in chaos. Anyway, Ask Away is going to be a weekly edition of Winding Trails Media Channel, as well as videos on my journey. If you're looking for someone to tell you what to do, this, that, and the other thing, and that will give you guaranteed success, find someone else, because find someone who's willing to mentor you and not rob you of all your money. There are certain things they have all in common, which is learning from mistakes and having what I call an invictus soul. That's something that's someone who's unbreakable and determined to succeed. My journey is one of discovery through failure, success, and determination. And what my journey's schedule is going to be like, I plan to do this on a weekly basis and have it as an open forum as Ask Away. I was said, ask me anything, but someone's already stolen that one, so I'm stealing Ask Away. On Saturdays, I'm going to start posting information about things that are writing related. And no, I'm not going to talk about how to write. You want to find a blog about how to write, go find the Writer's Lens, go find my old Cough of David that's still up there. Go look at any author's blog, because guess what? That's all we talk about is how to write. I want to reach out to potential readers. You guys don't care about how to write. You want to know what I write or what my interests are in writing. And that's one of the things, of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about here, but that's what that's going to be aimed at. Monday is going to be more aimed at voiceover and voiceover work. Tuesday is going to be martial arts or warriorship related. Wednesday is going to be entrepreneur related. And Thursday is going to be a special recording. I'm going inspiration with quotes for now. I've got to come up with a better title. Hello, Rebecca and JF Ridgely and Linda. Thank you for joining. For those who don't know, I run Right Pack Radio, which is right now the only thing going on Winding Trails Media. Winding Trails Media was going to be a platform for audio dramas as well as podcasts on writing, and then expand from there. Well, the audio dramas fell on their face, and I had some great scripts. My problem was in the acting area and getting that done, and that just didn't happen. So I'm expanding and changing that, but there's still Right Pack Radio, and that's been going on almost for 5 years. It starts again in March, and if you are a writer or no writers, Right Pack Radio is for them. This is where we talk about how to write. Right Pack Radio, for those who don't know, is a weekly panel discussion on the writing industry, and the topics range between everything from how to publish to marketing to writing itself and so forth. There's a lot going on there and explores the industry. In fact, I don't want to call anybody who's on the panel that meets weekly an expert. We do have a former president of St. Louis Writers Guild on there. You have me, who is a president of St. Louis Writers Guild. We have a president of the St. Louis Sisters in Crime on there. And we've got writers who are from beginner to have got stuff published out there, but no one's an expert. We are sharing, and we're always talking about what's going on as we see it. Season 5 is being put together. We will start in March. Nothing's ever written in stone, but here are a few of the topics that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to share with you, I'm going to have to post this later, a link that you can contribute if you want us to cover some topics that are not mentioned. We started something which is every month we celebrate an author. February of next year we're still looking for, but we're going to cover Tennessee Williams, Edna Farber, Bret Hart, I mispronounced that, Dorothy L. Sayers, Harriet Beecher Stoll, Margaret Mitchell, Madeline LaEngle, Aristotle, Jack London, James Thurber, and Edith Wharton. We're going to have topics like past and present grammar. Let me share one of my personal grinds of grammar, and that is the brand new grammar that's out there is like, that was a good ask. The ask of this is, oh my God, if I had $1 for every time I cringed when I heard that, I'd own a mansion. And so talk about some past and present grammar. Writing about other cultures, writing about other people than ourselves. We are putting that together. That I'm not sure of when that will air, because we are looking at not just having Right Pack members on there, but having people who do exactly this, write in the other areas or are part of the other cultures participating. Now, some people may say, well, okay, you're talking about minorities, African Americans, Asian Americans, and so forth. Yes, but no. Going beyond that, talking about the hearing impaired in their culture. Sorry, oh my God, I just pulled a gaffe. The deaf. There's a difference between deafness and hearing impaired. It is what you choose. I am sorry, I know none of my deaf friends are watching, but nevertheless, wow, I know better. I'm only growing up with you guys. I should know known better than that one. Okay, getting off the hot seat. Why do we love superheroes? Writing words versus writing pictures. An entire episode about, or more, because I can see this being a series of episodes, about the nitty gritty of actually taking a book and publishing it. What you need to do through both the traditional industry as well as through self-published. That's quite a lot. There is a survey I will share out there asking 5 simple questions, completely anonymous, about topics of publishing which other writers are interested in. Okay, that's aimed at the writers. Move that aside. My writing. I don't have any questions out there, so what am I doing with my writing? One of the things I struggle with in my writing career and that I have really got to get past is also something I have learned that is affecting my voice acting side. And that is, well, if you watched my night in the training booth I posted on YouTube and on my webpage Tuesday, January 9th, and listen to the end, you'll have heard some advice given by Steve Moore, who is a fantastic audio engineer at Clayton Studios. And he hits my problem right on the head. And that is, I spend a lot more time overthinking things when I need to overfeel them. And in both of these arts, I need to break that barrier that I have built up and let these emotions pour out. That's not easy, especially for me. I've had to always keep certain feelings back, always maintain a distance. And that really works well when I write nonfiction, but I'm really trying to get the fiction part going better. So I've got to be able to hammer a hole through that dam and let the water flow. Throughout my entire career, prior, not counting my writing, I've been analytical. That's been my requirements. Has always been break things down, identify the problems, solve the problems, work through those problems, and keep the emotions out of it. Now I've got to drag those emotions back in. So the current project I'm working on is, well, going to be about me in some ways. Now it's going to be completely fictionalized. It is going to be no one identifiable in it, but the source material is going to come from some parts of my life. And that's, sorry, that's something spooky that I really am going to have trouble sharing, but I've got to do it. So that's that. Voice acting, along the lines of what's going on there, is I'm going to start releasing in the spring some audiobooks, and not just things I've written either. I'm going to be going back into full swing of auditioning. I've kind of put that on hold while I've worked with my voice coach, because I want to be better. One of the things, if you don't know this about me, is I'm a cleaner. What does that mean? I don't mean going around cleaning stuff. There's a great book out there, and thank you, BJ. Yes, Mark is actually behaving himself for once. What a cleaner is. If you've ever read, I might have his first name wrong, Tim Ross, I believe that's the name of the author of the book, Relentless. He classifies 3 types of people. Now, he's mostly writing about sports, but this applies to everything in people's lives. And that is, you have your coolers, you have your closers, and you have your cleaners. Coolers are the people that cheer you on, and they're might be part of a team, and they do whatever they need to do just to get by. Closers are the ones that will close out the game, but they're really thinking about what's best for them, and how can they look good, how can they close it out. Cleaners are the relentless, determined, never satisfied with what they did. Using a few examples, whether you like them or not. One basketball player, Kobe Bryant, when he had a injury, I believe he had a torn Achilles heel, a torn ACL or something. But anyway, where most people would be allow themselves to be taken off the court to the polite applause of those around him, he instead got up, shot 2 free throws, actually made them, and then walked off the court. Another one, Willie McGee of the St. Louis Cardinals fame. He would be at batting practice before, having his own personal batting practice before batting practice with the team, batting practice with the team, and then batting practice afterwards. He was always determined to be a better player than he was. And you can find this in the business world. You can find this in the art world. You can find this in every aspect of life. There are people who are determined, regardless of their previous success, they are determined to overcome everything in which they've done and all the failures have been put in front of them and get better. They never accept what they've done as being something they can rest their laurels on. And that's me as well. I didn't get into voice acting when I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be a voice actor. I went into a different aspect and discovered a love for it. Hey, Sarah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so and it's become a career, and it's a difficult one. And I'm going to tell you something. In every single art, writing especially, and in voice acting especially, you are constantly being silently rejected. You audition, you audition, you audition. You send out queries, you send out queries, you send out queries. You send out things to be published. And sometimes you might get a form back saying, hey, this doesn't fit us. But oftentimes it's more crickets in the darkness. And that is something you have got to be used to or get used to doing. And you've got to accept it. Warriorship. The other thing in which I definitely am going to be sharing in my journey, I've just got to figure out how to share it. And let me explain. See, I want to share the lessons I've learned from the martial arts from the last 30 plus years. I started when I was 9 or 10 years old. I'm not sure when. I've had some great instructors. I've studied under Tim Golby at Tracy's Karate in Kirkwood. I have studied under Sid G. I have studied under Dave Hofer. I have studied under the late Steve Leventhal. And I have currently studying under Joe Talbot. The amount of knowledge I've been exposed to is phenomenal. But one of the things which I've always wanted to do is share the truth about the martial arts, share the truth about the aspect of warriorship. And I want to do that in a way that isn't like everybody out there. I shot a video recently. I didn't like it because it was just like all the others are out there. I want to share my knowledge in such a way that I don't sound like someone who's trying to promote a book or promote their style or promote their school of some kind. No. I want to talk about the real life aspect of martial arts. Now, one thing I will say is whatever my recordings will become of this, it's going to focus on fighting in real life and not in the ring. America, especially right now, has this image of fancy martial arts and MMA, and this is how fighting should be constantly. That's great for presentations. That's great for sports martial arts. That can get you hurt in the street. And that is where my focus is. Now, I've been in real fights, way too many that I even want to talk about. I don't even like to talk about what I had to do. But I've also fought in sports martial arts. And in that case, 90% of the time anyway, I brought home the trophies. The minimum of third place, usually first or second. And yay. I mean, yay, but that's not my interest. I've always trained for the street first and foremost, but there are some things from sports karate that will translate into the street, and you need to do that. Finally, I want to share something with you, but I'm going to see if there's any questions out there, and I have to let the video catch up, so I will, so let me do first things first. I am going to share a poem with you, and it's kind of a reflective thought, and then from there, I am going to let this open for questions. So hopefully by the time you have seen this part, the poem will be done, and I will be hanging out for some questions and then end this for today. I've been newly exposed to this poem. It's called If by Kipling. And I'm going to put it in front of me so I can read this here. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about. Don't deal in lies or being hated. Don't give way to hating. And yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make your dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, twisted by the knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. And with that, I am going to hold and see if I can let you guys catch up here. I don't know why that's doing. Something happened. Did it stop? I hope not. Full screen. And with that, I want to say thank you, Jay. Thank you, Rick. Thank you for the compliment out there. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Let everybody get back to their time right now. And, oh, good, I am still on. For some reason, when I turned back to the video, it looked like it had paused. Does anyone have any questions about what I'm trying to do, which is, in many cases, probably insane? I'm going to just pause, let people catch up, because there is a delay between what I'm saying and what I'm seeing on Facebook. And if not, don't worry. I'll be sharing this again next week. This will be a weekly thing. And I am open up to any questions. Okay. One of the things I'm going to say about going back to my writing, one of the things I want to do, but I'm struggling with in how to do it, and as much as I hate to say it, George Lucas stole it long before I knew I even liked to write, through Star Wars, is I want to write something about martial arts and put it in the future and not make it corny. So I'm actually walking away from what George did. But I'll share more about that in my upcoming video log, which I'll have posted tomorrow. And I'll talk more about that. Sarah, I look forward to those days in which you'll be interested in the martial arts. I will say, and this is something that separates out me away from myself, as well as the school I go to, martial arts versus some of what I call the McDojos in the world. And that is, I won't take a student, and I'm very picky about my students. I don't just accept any student, but I don't take a student before the age of reason. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to step on my soapbox, so forgive me ahead of time. The biggest things that make me cringe is when I see a 6-year-old who is a black belt. People, let me explain something to you. My very first lesson after all the punches and the kicks I had to learn to get to that point, Sid G, fantastic martial artist, great teacher, taught me the move called sumo. Now, sumo is really designed for women and for kids who are not that strong. And it's one which I really believe in teaching to any woman who takes time to listen to it, because it's meant for somebody who grabs you around the waist. Thus the term sumo, the sumo belt. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole entire move, but the opening part of it is after breaking their grip, these two, I'm putting up so high enough, okay, I got to put them closer together. These two get stabbed right into the carotid arteries, right here. People, at age 9, my very first move was a move that could kill. Tell me a 6-year-old understands right and wrong about being able to kill, and I will claim BS on that. So there are a lot of McDojos out there. I wish I could say I claimed to create that term. I'm just not. I did not. But they will put weapons in kids' hands right away, or that will promote 6-year-olds to black belt. Those are scary, and please run away from them. In gymnastics and other sports where other people's lives are not at stake, learning early is good. Learning from childhood is good. Teaching your own child martial arts is good from an early stage. But there's still a level of where are they in understanding right and wrong that has to be taken into account before you can ever really teach. And so that they know. I didn't fight much in school. In fact, I tried not to. Why? Well, hey, the very first move, I'm learning how to clap someone's carotid arteries. My lunch money was not that important. Now, I did end up in fights outside of school. In school, I held back. Anytime I was on school property, I held back. Outside the school property, yeah, different story. And that's always stuff I'm proud of. So with that, is there any other questions out there? Yes, Judy, you're right. Martial arts is also about respect. Respect to yourself and to others. One of the things, sadly, some people get egos that blow up the size of a house of martial arts. And sometimes what you see with some people who reach black belt is suddenly they think they're Superman. Anything can happen. But what's supposed to be is a respect to your fellow students, to your instructors, and to people outside of the martial arts. My personal belief is that the study of the martial arts is self-defense, and self-defense is not just defense of the self, but it's the defense of the people in your lives, defense of those who cannot defend themselves. It is not about going out and looking for a fight. Furthermore, I've learned, I was told this before I ever became black belt, but I've learned this as I've studied beyond first degree black belt, and I'm right now 4th degree black belt, working on 5th degree. And for those who want to know, I won't be 5th degree until sometime September 2019 is when I'm eligible. By the way, I got 4th degree, just so you can back this up, September 2014. Yeah, 2014. So 5 years as 4th degree black belt before I'm even eligible for 5th degree. But one of the things that I learned as a black belt is, to borrow from Yoda, you must unlearn what you have learned. You studied it at one level of martial arts. I'm trying to put this at so the camera picks up my hand. As a black belt, you start to develop a different understanding of everything you just learned, and going beyond that and applying it and understanding what's really behind it, because there is so much more to it than what meets the eye. And I'm not talking about the metaphysical stuff that some schools will focus on, and I'm not saying they're right or wrong on that. I am talking about the understanding of the physics. I'm talking about the understanding of the way the body moves. I'm talking about the understanding of what's around you. I'm talking about the understanding of what the move itself is teaching you. And I'm talking also about the understanding of what it means to be a mentor to the people who are still on that trail trying to reach black belt. So yes. Oh my God. Hello, Karen. I have not seen you in years. How have you been? Is there any other questions out there? Some good talk on martial arts. And by the way, I mentioned earlier that the current story I'm working on, I want to incorporate the martial arts into in a non-hokey way. And this is why. One of the things I want to incorporate in there. And on that, I am going to go ahead and end this. I want to thank everybody who has watched and commented, and tune in next week. And of course, always feel free to leave comments later, because I will answer them either in Facebook or YouTube or next week as well. Take care, all. Bye-bye.